Two psychological traps that are hurting our managers out there today. Number one being their need to be liked. Everybody's got to understand that when you're in a management or in a leadership position, you're not out there to be liked. You want to be respected in your position. You want to be respected as a person that's leading this team, leading that team. But at the end of the day, if you're so worried about being liked by certain individuals on your team, which is how it normally works, you're going to start to lose the respect and not gain it. Being liked isn't something that should be on your mind in the initial steps. You should be doing the things that you know how to do best, meaning going out there, performing in the way that you know how to perform. Go out there, build conversations, build rapport with your team, start to get to know them. Don't worry about them liking you. Just be genuinely you. Be you. And, they're going to respect your position, but they won't respect the leader in the initial steps, right? So you have to build that rapport with them. Learn to get to know every little detail about your people. Understand, do they have kids? How's their kids doing? How's their family doing? Get to know them. Don't worry about them liking you. Okay? Build the rapport, build the relationship with them, and maybe they'll like you, maybe they won't, but at the end of the day, you have a job to do. They have a job to do. Okay? Don't get it twisted up that you should be out here. When I'm saying you should care for your people, does that mean that, you should go out there worrying if they like you? You should care about them, care about your team, care about your results, okay? But a lot of the times, people are so worried about their people liking them that they skip the difficult conversations, and that's where that becomes a problem, okay? And when you're not handling the situations that you should handle, because you're afraid of somebody not liking you, that's when you're putting your whole team in jeopardy and you're putting your reputation on the line, because you're not holding those people accountable because you're afraid of not being liked. Number two is imposter syndrome or insecurities in their leadership. This especially occurs in newer managers, especially when they're just beginning, they're just getting themselves out there, and they really feel like they have something to prove. Now, everybody feels like they have something to prove, but the way people handle that is what splits the difference, okay? So, something you can kind of tell if you're managing people or you get a new manager out there and you see a problem. Here's a couple signs to see an early warning sign that this might be a problem. Micromanagement. Whenever you see somebody that's in a leadership position start to micromanage, that's mostly coming from a place of insecurity. They don't want to trust their people, and they want to be in control of every little thing that each one of their employees do, and that's always going to cause a problem. It might not in the short term, but in in the short term it could also cause problems. I mean, micromanagement normally is just going to cause problems all around through the whole time frame, and that's a big sign that you have somebody that's imposter syndrome or is going through insecurities in their leadership. Another sign is their refusal to admit that they don't know something. That's another big one. They, even if they don't know, they're like, yes, I know, yeah, I know, yes, I know, yo, yeah, I knew that, I knew that. Well, you know, okay, that they didn't. They know that they don't know, and that's a big sign, and that's a big problem that you're gonna have to work through, with that individual, because that's the imposter syndrome coming out. They're almost trying to manifest that they actually know what's going on when they probably don't. But that's a good mixture of that imposter syndrome and that insecurity. Now, if I was going to say which one of these two was the worst of the two, I'm going to say that the imposter syndrome and the insecurity is what's going to do more damage on a team or a process. And the reason I say that is because the imposter syndrome and the insecurity is a big mashup of a bunch of bad habits or bad things that you don't want happening in your units or your teams or your processes. Once somebody starts micromanaging, refusing to admit that they don't know something, or feeling threatened by some of their better employees or something like that, that's when you've got a real issue on your hands. And that issue is only going to develop to be worse if you don't try to grab onto that and fix it. Now, I want everybody to understand this, that once you go in to try to fix this issue, it's not going to magically get better. whoever's managing this individual that's going through this imposter syndrome or these insecurities in their own leadership, you're going to have a real problem trying to correct this because of their refusal to admit that they don't know something. That will turn into defensive and very, very aggressive conversations where they will automatically feel like you're coming at them. And if you're managing these types of people, I'm going to give you a couple key signs on. I'm not really sure why I said signs, but I'm going to give you a couple options that you could go through when you want to handle an individual like this. It's not going to sound great and it's not going to sound fun, but you have a real problem on your hands. And the only way to solve this problem is to outsmart this problem. So, as a manager or as a leader that's managing an individual with one of these things, either the need to be liked or imposter syndrome or insecurity, if you are dealing with someone that needs to be liked, it's fairly easy. You really have to just tell them that they are messing up and you have to give them the facts and the data and make sure that they're holding their team accountable and setting the standards in their area. It's very easy. I don't want to say very easy, but it's much easier to fix someone that has a need to be liked problem instead of an imposter syndrome and an insecurity problem. Now, if you're dealing with someone that has got an imposter syndrome or an insecurity issue with their own leadership, it's going to be much more difficult to navigate that and how to actually fix it. Now, this is where it's going to get controversial for you guys. If you have someone that's very insecure and almost has borderline imposter syndrome in their leadership, the only way to fix it is to let them fail. And I know that that's not what people want to hear, but you almost have to let the ship burn and sink to the bottom so they can see when they're at the bottom that they need help. And a lot of times what's going to happen is as the leader of that group, their peers will start to try to tell them the same thing. And that's what's going to help you, right? If your team is pretty solid and you've got somebody like this on your team is going to start to kind of slide in and fill the gaps that you're not filling anymore as far as the trying to get this person to understand that the issue that they have is really affecting everyone. The peers will jump in and start to do that for you, which is a big bonus. Okay, if you build a good team, your team will start to pick up pieces that you may not be able to get through to some of the people that work for you, which is a great thing. But imposter syndrome and insecurity in their leadership is a much more difficult thing to fix. And I recommend that anybody that's out there dealing with something similar like this, please hit me up in the comments, email me, something like that, and let me help you out. Get on a call with me and explain to me the situation and let me dissect this situation and help you fix this issue that you have. Now, the other things that I want to explain here, the connection between the need to be liked, insecurities, and the imposter syndrome is its fear. Okay, that's the one connection. One fears that people won't like them, and the other fears that people won't respect them. Both are one with the other, but when fear starts making leadership decisions, that's when the person and the manager they're not the only ones paying the price, guys. Whoever's working for that individual is paying the price. The entire team, the peer group's paying the price. The results are paying the price. Everybody's going to start to pay the price for that individual. I have tons of situations and things that have happened to me in a very similar light. And that's the way that I handled it. I let them fail. I explained to them that they were going to fail. If they continued to do this, their people didn't respect them. It's a bad situation, but it can be fixed. And I've seen it get fixed many times. You really just have to get them down to rock bottom of their leadership and then start to help them build it back up. Now, a big problem that I see is that a lot of managers out there now will push these people to rock bottom, but never pick them back up. If you let them fail, be there to pick them back up. And there's two quotes here that I want everybody to listen to and understand, okay? And the first one is going to be regarding the need to be liked. If your need to be liked is stronger than your willingness to hold people accountable, you're not leading them. And that's great. That quote is great, guys, because as a leader, you're not supposed to just go out there and have everybody like you. You have to say the controversial things that people don't want to hear. You have to do the things that, people don't want to see you do. That's how you're going to grow your team. Okay? And that's why being liked is just not on the even in the top 10 priorities as a good leader. Okay? Your results and the way that you carry yourself as a leader, they will like you if they want to win. If they don't want to win, they're going to force themselves out. And that's the way that it goes. And quote number 2 is referencing imposter syndrome and an insecurity in their leadership. Great leaders don't need to prove that they're the smartest in the room. They build a room full of smart people. Now that is the epitome of great leadership right there. That quote. You need to be building that team up. You need to be building a room full of smart individuals. They don't have to be the brightest, but they have to know certain aspects and certain things of their job title and their operation, that they know what's going to happen next. They know what to do. If somebody bad you make a bad hire, they come in and join the team, that team should be helping lift that person up. And if they start to trip and slip and slide, you shouldn't be the only one holding people accountable as the leader either. Your team should have a standard set, and your team will help you manage that individual as well. And my final note here is that leadership isn't about being liked, and leadership isn't about proving your importance to the team. It's about giving your people the necessary items they need to succeed. And the necessary items aren't always positive, they're negative too. And make sure you split the difference. Okay. And, as we move through some of these videos, that's exactly what we need to focus on, is where are the bad issues and how are we going to fix them together as a team. And that's going to be it for today. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, please just like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. We have a lot of good stuff coming up this week, and I hope you guys are excited about more episodes. Thank you for everything, and I hope to see you on the next one.